People with hair on your heads and on your face. If you are not feeling your best, if your hair is not flourishing out here in these streets and that beard is looking lackluster, then you need to go on over to Holmes Wholesale, where Danielle's hair care line lives. It is called D&H Hair Care, and she made it for you, 100% vegan. That is right. And in honor of Women's History Month, closing out Black History Month, here she is yet again to save the day as the sponsor of this here program. So all listeners, from now until March the 26th, you can get 10% off your order if you use the code CRP10. That's right. Go get yourself together because you deserve it. Now let's start the show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The Crossroads. I'm your host, Rashida Green, and this is the show for and about environmental justice and those who fight the fight with skin as melanated as the days are long. Knowledge is power, and the girls are down in Texas with no lights, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. I have two of my podcast sisters. You guys hear me talk about mention my podcast sisters, and I have two of them joining me today, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves. But I have Janae and Erline from the Confessions from a Red Couch podcast and Shall We Proceed podcast, respectively, joining me today to talk about the whole shenanigans with the Dark Lords down in Texas.
That's the best way to put it.
What is happening? Oh my God. But that's what we're talking about. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I guess I'll introduce myself.
Yes.
I guess I'll do it first.
Yes.
So I am Janae, Strickland Nunn from Confessions from a Red Couch blogging podcast. It's a podcast all about improving the relationship with yourself so you don't take your trash to others, because nobody wants your unresolved issues. And I give positive affirmations every weekday at 4 a.m. And then I do 5 minutes on a red couch on Mondays and the full episode of Confessions from a Red Couch on Wednesdays. And you can find me on all social media platforms, as well as TikTok. I don't know why. I feel like
girl, embrace it.
But whatever. And then also you could go to Confessions from a Red Couch and find just about everything. .com. Yeah, there it is.
Erline.
Hi. My name is Erline Mango, aka Elise Main, and I am the host creator of Shall We Proceed podcast. My show focuses on 3 areas: relationships, health and wellness, and society and culture, because that pretty much makes up all of us in some type of way. I do not give affirmations. Listen, I can't heal you for nothing. That's not my ministry. Listen, I'm a heathen. So for me, my show is focused on bringing you great, amazing people, what they do, talented people, great topics that people think we don't talk about in our community, but we do talk about. My show drops every Tuesday. I'm on YouTube, all streaming platforms. You can find me. I'm also on TikTok as well, Instagram and Facebook. I'm trying to figure out the tickety talk, and I'm trying to figure it out. And that's about it. You can find me on www.shallweproceedpodcast.com. And that's about it.
And don't worry, we're going to give all this yet again at the end of the show. So it's all right. So before we get started into Texas and her mess, let's give some flowers. And that's the part in the show where we honor someone in our lives or someone who we admire that is an inspiration to us that we want to name. I do not have to go first. If someone else wants to go, please feel free. No? You want me to do it? I'll do it. It don't matter, girl. It's my show, girl. Okay. So the person that I'm giving flowers to today is actually the third and final person that I mentioned that I was going to give flowers to of the three people who inspired me to start my show. So the first one was Petey Green, second one was Kathy Hughes, and last but certainly not least is actually T.S. Madison. Now she is a trans woman, and she is actually about to have her own reality TV show on WeTV that's coming out next week. But the reason that I wanted to select her and give her some flowers is because she is, with what she's about to do, I've actually watched her come up basically. It was around the time when I was starting my own show. And I really love the fact that she has been through so many things that she's been public and honest about, and that she's unapologetically herself. And that really inspired me on many, many, many levels. So I want to give her some flowers today.
Nice.
Good.
I guess I can go second.
Come on.
I want to give I like the direction you're going with, the reason why you started your show. And for me, it would be 2 or 3 people. Arsenio Hall will be one, being the first Black man to have a late night show, successful show, and he stayed himself the whole entire time. You know, the iconic show, he put that man in the audience in his place because he didn't bring up a certain topic. He's like, dealing with, I think, was a gay issue, homosexual issue. He's like, how you harassing me and not Carson or anyone else? But for Arsenio Hall to do what he's always done and stay his authentic self and pave the way for us as Black people to have talk media, not a reality show, not a sitcom, but to sit down as a host and engage the audience, engage their guests. I really want to give him his flowers because I grew up watching Arsenio Hall.
Me too.
I was sad when the show left the air, and it wasn't because of ratings. It's like I was sad about that. And also, as much as we have issue with Oprah, some people do, Oprah Winfrey for doing what she's done, because everything happened later in life for her. It wouldn't happen at 18, 19, 20. And the direction that she's gone from a host to media is the way I'm moving. I have my own media company I started as well to help other people have their brands and have their shows. And I'm working on that. Yes, Mango Inclusive Media has been started. And so I'm an older woman. You know, I'm 25. Come
on, girl.
So, and those two people, it's important for me, and I see it more now than ever, understanding when people who look like you are doing things that you want to do, or you had no idea you wanted to do. I have reference. I have people I can pinpoint, not just women, people of color that I can pinpoint that have done it successfully and have done it well. Yeah. And right now I'm so in love with, what's that young comedian name? Last name is Stans. What's her name? Ruffin. Is it Amber Ruffin?
Yeah, Amber Ruffin, I think. Yeah.
For her doing what she's doing. You know what I mean? Looking her beautiful, natural self, out here giving out real news in the way she wants to give it. And she hits you with some zingers. And I love the fact that we've been paving the way. And those two paved the way when it comes to this type of media. They paved the way for us.
That's awesome.
Well, I am giving my flowers to Issa Rae because girl is just doing it. She's out here doing it. And the reason why I give my flowers to her is I followed her since Awkward Black Girl on YouTube, you know, and she kind of got me into not really YouTubing, but more so like blogging and, you know, giving my voice and just presenting a different look of what a Black woman is, you know, because and I say this about y'all as well, we are not the stereotypical, you know, what everybody wanted a Black woman to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not that. And it shows that, and I liked it because she showed that Black women come in all different shapes and sizes and personalities and all this other stuff. And the fact that she's just moving and grooving in media, in story. Like I'm about to take her masterclass on story writing because I have an idea for a movie that I want to produce.
Nice.
And so, like, I really want to, and just like Erline, I want to get into the media aspect of this industry because I like to create. I'm not just a nerd, comic book nerd and, science nerd. Like I love to create and I love to think. And so just watching her move and branch herself out, because now she's into, like, she has a music company, music production company. She one of her artists that she has won a Grammy. So, it's like, yeah, she's a reggae artist. I forget her name. I'll bring it up later.
Okay.
You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, she's a young reggae artist, and she's part of Issa's music company.
Is that the girl who had the tiny desk? She
probably did.
Okay. I still don't remember her name.
I don't remember her name. I want to say it starts with a K and something, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want to mess up her thing. But I'm just looking how Issa is just moving and grooving in Hollywood and making sure that real Black people's stories are being told, and not so much this hood, just all the things that you see, like real life Black people stories are getting told. And so I love that. So I'm giving her flowers today.
This is good. I like
Can
it.
I give her 2 more flowers? Is it
yes.
2 more flowers? I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
So, my girl Erykah Badu turned 50 the other day.
Oh my God.
Fabulous.
And she needs a whole garden. Okay.
She needs the 100-acre woods.
Because right now on Facebook Watch, she has the Black Music. I think it's a documentary that she did. And I want to give her flowers because she has been her authentic self from beginning, a creative. And it's inspiration as a woman who is confident in herself in every form of fashion. I love me some Erykah Badu. Like I love Jill Scott. And I also want to give my flowers to the originals, Toby, Fat, and Nell, for being Houston.
Oh yeah.
And being independent and killing it, because this Black History Month, the stuff that he put out music wise, phenomenal. Nell dropped 2 babies, still producing music. Fat
is
dropped 2 babies and still being right. And what I love about it is they are women who love being a woman, and they know not their place, but they know their place because they put themselves where they are. They know their role. They know how to feed and take and nurture. They truly have been the ones that were giving something and multiplied it. Because he wouldn't be where he is right now if he didn't have Fat and Nell and his mom,
would not.
That kind of thing. And just what they're doing musically and creatively is just amazing to me. So I just had to add that in. I'm sorry.
No, it's great. You're putting me on the stuff that I didn't know anything about. So I'm gonna have to
get you some Toby Nwigwe.
Hey, all you gotta do, because I always share his stuff in my stories, on my Instagram stories, always sharing. He just put out one, The Revolution Will Not Be Televised.
That's what I'm talking about.
It is fire.
I need to listen to it.
It's like, it's spoken word amplified. Yes. His visuals, every song he puts out is a visual. He drops every Sunday.
Yeah.
Damn.
Even if he's busy, he drops music every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
He designs his own clothes for his people. He's the one who does all his own choreography with his Black angels in his videos. There's nothing, there's no nudity, there's no hypeness, there's nothing. Fat became a mom and her whole wardrobe changes. She's still out there, but how she looks, and Nell has always been Nell, and it's a beautiful thing. And also, we need to shout out Andrea Day for her role.
Oh yeah, Billie Holiday.
U.S. versus Billie Holiday.
Yeah.
Her first real movie role. It's a hard watch.
It is.
Her voice, musically, I just love her anyway. But what she did, because Lady Sing the Blues is about Billie Holiday in a sense, but okay, that's Diana Ross, that's back in the day. But this was the real FBI after you. You can't sing this song, Strange Fruit, It's too much. I mean, that kind of thing. And her demons.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about it is, and I'm gonna stop, when you watch it, you put aside the demons, because some people love to harp on, oh, she had a heroin addiction. Da, da, da. The people she surrounded herself with, unfortunately, didn't help. But you can't take away the talent and the drive and the vision. But we all have demons. I'm done. I'm sorry.
No, girl, don't you apologize. I haven't watched that movie yet because I don't have Hulu, because I just got Disney. I got Disney Plus.
I'll send you my link to log in.
Yes. This is Community, and this is an excellent way to segue. So, girl, what in the hell is going on in Texas? Like, what is going on? Tell me first, for the folks who don't know, last week or the week before, depending on what time you listen to this, but in the month of February, the state of Texas was put in a state of emergency because winter came. Because the Night King and his whites came and just tap dance all over the place.
Oh, it was Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it was.
It really was. Like,
you were the North.
It was and so you want to ask what really was going on?
Yeah.
Greed, and greed. Greed, money, hungry, greed. That's the only thing I can tell you, to be perfectly honest. It's the greediness, people who are in power, who don't care about the people, and all they care about is making their pockets fat.
You're talking about Pucked?
Idiots.
Y'all's governor. We're talking about the Public Utility Commission of Texas. And then also just like the companies that I've been reading about, the energy companies who are charging people astronomical prices. Some young man was on CNN saying his bill was $7,000. And I thought I was hallucinating.
I think some people are getting emails where that's what's going to be, but it's going to be adjusted. Luckily for me, I'm on a fixed rate, and it will be a little bit higher than my usual, but I will not see that bill.
Yeah,
I will not see that bill. Okay. My bill will be it will be a little bit higher than usual because the spikes that went up, because you can see when you monitor your bill, of course, you look at the spike when that power shot on, it shot on, and you're trying to warm up because it was 16 degrees at some parts. At some moments in time, because that week, I don't know what day of the week it was. There were moments where I want to say Monday night going to Tuesday was the coldest. And it got down for like 18, 19 to 16. And when that power came on in the middle of the night, I think all of us jumped up. For some of us, like, put the heat on, crank it up, do something. I will say this, Texas, let me just say this. Our weather is bipolar, and I don't mean to disrespect anyone who has really, but it is truly an abusive relationship. Our weather is crazy. Like right now, today it's hot and beautiful.
It is.
Tomorrow gonna probably be rainy and cold.
It is 80
something.
What?
Yeah.
Our weather is crazy, and for a very long time. Oh, it's coming and nothing happens. It's coming, nothing happens.
We'll get like
and for us, hurricanes, what we worry about, honestly. June to November, we worry about hurricanes.
That's hurricane season.
Hurricanes and heat.
Hurricanes and heat. Summertime is, we inhale in summertime.
Title.
Purgatory, we inhale in the summertime, okay? So when this happened, our homes are not equipped for this kind of a weather. Our insurance is not set up for this kind of weather. So if you had damage, you may get the sheetrock taken care of by your insurance, but not the pipes.
Yeah.
Because I heard pipes were just like
everywhere.
Everywhere. They would it's just, it was crazy. Like just to think about it and just to piggyback and saying that, because a lot of people were like, well, y'all should have been prepared, and why aren't y'all's houses? But this is the thing, what we just said, our houses are prepared for heat and hurricanes. That's it. So down here, people have big windows and all that stuff to cool the house down. We don't have anything to, like, I think in the total time that I've lived in Houston, and I moved here when I was like 6, I could count on my hands how many times it snowed and freeze. Like, we don't our houses aren't built to keep in the warmth.
Right.
You know, and I know the difference because I'm from the Midwest. So I know what happens in the Midwest when it freezes. And here in Texas, like we're like, oh, it freezes. And then the next day it'll be 65.
Right.
So we
Literally.
So we don't get a week to have a week's worth of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Like it's an apocalypse.
We don't even really truly have winter time here, Rashida. We don't have winter. We at the coldest. People who live north and come here love it because it becomes 40 something, and we're like, ooh, it's cold. They're like, this is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If we snow, like Janae said, when it snows, it doesn't even stick to the ground really, and when it does, it's only like 30 degrees outside, honestly. And then we were the black ice.
Mm-hmm.
My driveway was frozen over.
Yeah.
My vehicles were stuck in my driveway.
Mm-hmm.
My pipes froze. My cold water line froze in my roof.
Mm-hmm.
I could have put food outside and it was colder in my grass than my refrigerator. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't lose any food. Luckily, I didn't lose anything like that. I had damage in my home that happened as the house was cooling, putting the water on, because we didn't have water as well. That's another thing. So it happened for me because I live in east of Houston. Our water treatment center, something happened to where we had to be on a boil water notice across Baytown, Houston, because the treatment center pumps were frozen and damaged.
And because the power went out.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of off and on.
Mm-hmm.
And they claim we had rolling power. It wasn't rolling because some people didn't have power for 4 full days.
That's what I saw a lot of research that said they were doing rolling blackouts.
My power was on the Sunday night, and then Monday morning it was gone, which I say, okay, rolling power. So I had no power all of Monday. And then 4 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday morning, I had power when it was the coldest. I was cooking. I made a hot meal. I was like, let me just savor this. I had power all day Tuesday and nothing on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And no water.
Yeah.
No water.
And so that takes me to the next question I want to ask is really about the subject of preparedness. So, I talked a little teeny bit about this before on the show, but, there is growing more conversation about the term preparedness and what that means. And in essence, it is just having supplies for, as some would say, it just to get started for at least 3 days into the future, maybe 2 weeks if that's possible. And then those who can get a year or more so things prepared for themselves.
Yeah, they also told us what's like for the water situation, but you just don't think this. They told us to fill up our bathtubs, with water in case, the water went out. But it's like I said, we don't know. Like everybody went grocery shopping, they went and you saw the food getting people going to get food. People who had generators, they were good with their generators, but still, that day when it froze over, we couldn't leave the house because we don't have the salt things, the salt trucks or the sand trucks. We don't have that widespread in Houston because it don't get like that. They tell us, oh, it's going to freeze today, so y'all need to stay home, and we just stay home. But when it freezes like that for a week, we can't stay home. It's like, how much more can you do? And I was blessed. I only lost power for like a day and a half. So I turned the water off. We turned the main water off to the house and emptied out the pipes. And that was on the second coldest night. So I made sure the pipes were empty and the water was off so that nothing could freeze over. And I just learned that because, like I said, I'm from the Midwest. So I knew that was something that you did. But to a Houstonian who's been here their whole life, how can you tell them, hey, turn your water off?
I was turning my water off because my dad has always told me turn the water off, drain them out. But I think because honey, he's let me know clearly I didn't do it right. He said that I think on one of my sides, the mistake that I made, I didn't take off my water hose.
Oh, okay.
I drained everything, but I didn't take my water hose off of the spout. And so the water hose probably froze and pushed up into my pipe and then pushed ice into my pipe. And then I have copper pipes, but either way, you know, you can drain and drain and drain and nothing really fully drains. But that happened. I had a bursted pipe. I own it, whatever. Lord, blame me. Okay.
It's fine.
I think
Crossroads podcast is a judgment-free space.
No. I mean, honey, I've been hearing it you came in town telling me it's a daily thing. So, but I also feel preparedness comes with, you know, for me, I was by myself, right? And I always, when I do shop, I buy extra water. I do fill my tub. My dad always told us when it gets cold, it can be 20 degrees. Hey, turn that water off. You don't know. I fill my bathtub, both bathtubs up. I have water boiled for my, you know, for the essentials. I have cases of water. I make sure I have food that doesn't need to be heated up really or cooked. I have coolers that hold food for days cold. So I have that. But I would also say this also tells you need to have some kind of, I don't care how you are financially, there needs to be a cushion of money you can get to. Because when you have no power, you're going to operate in cash. You can't get to the ATM, you can't get to those things, and you're going to need gas for the generator. You're going to need certain things, and it's important to have reserve. I know for so many that may not seem feasible, but if you take a look at your account and what you spend for the whole year and look at what you actually bring in, where can you cut in what you're spending? Where can you take away? Because if you think about it, when you go out to eat, when you buy the extra things here or there, I'm not saying don't treat yourself. I understand that. But what I'm saying is you have people who make less than a lot of people who have better credit, better savings account. Our parents made less than we did, and they sit nice, some of them. You know what I mean? We're frivolous sometimes, unfortunately. And this, to me, from COVID to this and Hurricane Harvey humbled so many people.
Talk about that. I'd be interested. Yeah, talk about that.
COVID humbles you because so many people lost their job and some people didn't. Let me tell you, still getting paid during COVID and being out of in the office for 8 weeks for me, it's a blessing. Not many places can do that. So I am thankful, not saying that I'm thankful, but like I refuse to complain. Even now I cannot complain because my insurance is good. My savings is nice. If I can't, I'm going to get it done because I made sure that I have emergency money. It may be all gone after all this, Lord Jesus. Okay, after these repairs. You know, my little vacation gone, but I'm saying it's a maturity you have to get to because we cannot keep saying that's rent, that's this. I get it. But what can you cut from right now? What can you cut? Even if you take $5 a paycheck and throw it in a shoebox. Or $10 a check and throw it somewhere. You may not be able to do it every paycheck, but you can do it at some point in time. The change you get, throw it somewhere. You know what I mean? Because that cold snap, when the White King came through Texas, I was looking for Aria, and Aria ain't come nowhere around to stop the whole situation. I was so lucky to both my vehicles have gas. They're both maintained. I have plenty of water sitting here. I have food to eat. I have reserve cash sitting here in case I have to do anything. I got weapons in case anybody get real stupid in these streets. Because, you know, on the sense of this, and I'll stop talking, as a woman living by herself, I had to learn a long time ago, even younger, my dad, my mom taught us how to be independent as to get things done. Yeah, I rely on my family because we're there for each other, my brothers and stuff, but as an individual, I'm okay. I'm gonna get it done. But preparedness is so much more than just, but also, and I'm rambling, like Janae said, we're prepared for floods and hurricanes. That's what we're set up for. And right now, Texas has been hit the past 4 years with things that we weren't prepared for. Harvey's had flooding in areas that didn't need flood insurance.
That have never flooded ever in the history of of them being built.
Like I have flood, I have wind, because I'm in my area. I flood, and I have wind for my windows and storm windows. People north of me don't have to worry about flooding, but they flooded, and they didn't have that insurance, and they still have their homes are not fixed yet, and they have damage again because your pipes bursted.
Yep. There's still people with tarps on their roofs from Harvey, and from because we had another one after that. We had like Imelda.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We've been hit really hard.
You guys really have.
Really crazy. And number one, if somebody's saying climate change is not real, you're lying. You need to stop lying to yourself.
You need to stop lying to yourself.
That's the first thing. The second thing, when we also talk about preparedness, we need to think on our state level. They were not prepared. And you can also see that with ERCOT. The people who ran ERCOT, bastards. And yes, I call them bastards. Number one, they don't even live in the state of Texas. That's the first thing. Number two, our raggedy governor, and I'm going to say it, this raggedy appointed people who really had no clue what was going on in Texas. But you're so big on not wanting the feds to have any say in our power. Now he had to humble himself and ask Biden for help.
He sure did. He sure did.
While all these crazy people in Texas talking about we gonna succeed because Biden in office, how's that working for you now? How's that secession looking? How's it looking?
I think it was funny though, like, you know,
we the corridor of power. No, I'm sorry, of energy.
You're the corridor of energy, not power.
Idiotic we look right now. How's that secession looking?
I live in this town where oil and water meets. Exxon is in my town. I live in a town where I'm 5 minutes from a Shell plant.
Wow.
I am in a chemical plant part of the state. I have Exxon is, I can see Exxon's fire things in the sky from my house. Okay.
Wow.
I can go down the street 5-10 minutes. Janae know where I live. I can go 10 minutes west of me, and see Pasadena that has a whole row of chemical plants. We produce stuff. Our plants actually produce enough stuff for energy for multiple states. And we literally were blacked out.
We were blacked
out.
El
Paso wasn't blacked out though, because they're on a different grid.
They're on a different grid. They're actually sharing with with other people in the country because, it makes sense.
It does make sense.
But you don't want, your profits to be federally regulated.
But look what it's doing to the state. Like, look what it's doing. And this is the thing. And he's
right now. My coworker got a bill for, I think, $3,000 energy bill.
Shit.
$3,000.
And now I see representatives, like, people are calling into them, and they have to make sure the power companies and electricity companies aren't cutting off people's electricity. Number one, because we're still in a panoramic.
Panoramic.
And
not a panoramic.
We're in a panoramic. And then number two, because if we shut off their power, none of this was their fault. It's not their fault. And the reason why the reason why it's so high is because it wasn't federally regulated. So they can go with however the stock market
they want it.
And that's what they wanted. They did not want to be federally regulated so they could put that money in their pockets.
Yep.
And from what I understand, some plants here who lost power, then they had to not run other plants to get plants here up running. So then you had to buy the power, the energy. And so instead of you getting it for a little bit, you're getting it for like 9,000 or 1,000 per kilo, whatever it works out to be. And that cost has been put on us. And what's happening now is you have to call and talk or do something because they shouldn't be charging you when you didn't have any power going on.
Yeah.
There's days where mine shows two kilowatts because nothing was happening.
Yeah.
You can see the shoot up. But who's going to pay it?
Nobody.
I mean, what's going on? And then, you talk about at this point in time, whomever you like as president's one thing, but then, our governor saying he's not my president.
Yeah.
Then a week later,
Please, sir, can I have some more?
You know, he's Oliver Twist. You know what I'm saying? He's Oliver Twist, right? With porridge, and then what bothers me about people, and I'll stop talking. I'm really talking too much. What bothers me about people?
Because I'm gonna probably chime in after you say.
What bothers me about people? Okay, Biden got in office on the 16th or the 19th. Which
it was
one of them teens in January. Okay.
Yeah.
It is only right now February 28th.
It's only been 5 weeks.
Okay. He has worked on hopefully getting us more vaccines when it comes to COVID, because that's a big thing when he came into office. Mm-hmm. Every president has had something to deal with when they walk into office, huh? Mm-hmm. So COVID, right? Let's get this going. Then you have this happen in Texas, a little bit of Louisiana, but Texas and Oklahoma, we've been hit, right? You have folks saying, one, what has Biden done yet? First of all, it's only been a few weeks. The man still got boxes, ain't even unpacked yet in his house, okay? You got folks dying from COVID. He has to figure out, can we get some? He walked into office when there was like, hey, we have no more. What we gonna do? Mm-hmm. And I'm not, and this could be any president, I would say the same thing. Listen, the man just got there. Mm-hmm. Whoever, they just got there. Two, what has Biden done for Texas? Your governor has to ask for help. You have to ask for help. A closed mouth will not get fed. Plain and simple. Won't. He just can't walk in here and say, forget y'all, I'm gonna take care of this. You can't, even though he's the president, that's not how that works. Yeah. Now, granted, Abbott had to ask for help. Now it's a state of emergency. So now, hopefully, the price gouging will not happen. Hopefully, insurance will help pay for the extras here and there, not just certain things. But at the end of the day, one president has power, but no power. Yeah. Each state is an individual. Mm-hmm. That governor governs their state. Mm-hmm. They have their own constitutions. They have their own rules. Yep. And if FEMA just can't walk in here and say, I got you, and I didn't ask you for help.
And there's a pretty hefty amount that FEMA's actually cashing out to give to folks who are applying, to the tune of like $50 billion and in Texas relief.
FEMA said you have adequate insurance. Okay.
Well, apparently they think they need that. Yeah. Okay, well. And so I think we have most definitely come into the crossroads, because we're talking about this from the tragic snowstorm. We're talking about this from an economic level. We're also talking about it from the environment perspective, and we're talking about it from the personal experience too. And going into a little bit more about like this from the climate change aspect, like not just Florida, but Texas is one of those states it's in the ocean. It's close to a body of water, and it's susceptible to, as we talked about, to really terrible hurricanes. We talked about Hurricane Harvey that happened in 2017, and it's just, there's a lot of unpredictable weather. And because we're seeing this, this constantly, it's like even for the polar vortex, which is just pushing that cold air down from the poles further down south into us. And that's why we have these crazy surges. And, climate change is real. And this is just one of the many examples of it. So what are some things that, if you may not have your own individual preparedness, are there things that, from your perspective, helped you get through? Were you able to lean on your family? And if so, in what ways were there ways that you had to band together to get through this time?
Actually, for me, big time, because so I have added family because my husband was married before me. And so, that is now added family, that's my family. And it was a point because they lost power. And so I'm not going to have my family stuck out ever. So, whatever differences we had before that, it was, no, you come over here and you get some heat and you get some food, because that's, for me, that would have been totally disrespectful and totally wrong to, be like, oh, we're warm. I'm sorry y'all lost lights, And even because when they came over that night, we lost power, but they gained power. So we were able to kind of,
house hop
chairs, do musical chairs and just house hop to the next one. So it was a lot of, just coming together, putting petty differences aside and saying, look, come, I don't care what was going on. You come and get heat, you come and get food. Bring whatever food you have, we'll bring, and that's what has happened, to be honest, since Hurricane Ike. When I moved back in, when did Hurricane Ike hit? Like 2000?
Girl,
it was a long time ago.
Let's consult Le Google.
Yeah, I think it was like 2008. 2008 when Hurricane Ike hit, and it was one of the biggest hurricanes in Houston once again. So, it's all about that coming together and making sure, if you don't have and your neighbor has, you just need to put your different, whatever it is, and say, hey, I need help, or hey, this is what's happening. So believe me, I was open to, you want to come? We still have lights. Come here. Come here. If you can make it, come over here. If the streets are safe, come here. And the same thing, even when our lights didn't come back on, my family who lives here, they had lights. So, we were able to be someplace safe while it was probably like 2 degrees in the house.
Ew. And then just also as a quick note, and then I want to have a quick session, a quick wellness and life session. But just another quick note and tip for folks is there's also community emergency response training, CERT. Look to see if you have that in your city or in your state. You can attend a training. If you want to know how to become more prepared, it's definitely a way in which you can do that. And so with the fact that I have 2 ladies who go very much so into their own personal wellness, what are some ways that you have applied wellness to your situation in the snowstorm? And just in general, what have you been doing this year? I know we just got started, but like, what have you been doing in this year to like kind of help your own personal sense of well-being? Janae, why are you laughing?
Medicine.
Girl, we can't.
Herbal medicine.
You're so cute.
And that's on who? Rashida had a little green. All right.
Well, for me, what I've done, I was telling someone that I interviewed who's like family to me, that this is the first year that started for me. I was really at peace with a lot of things and truly an adult. We're adults, right? Right.
Yeah.
We've been adults for a while, but I will say 2020 truly tested your adulthood. And 2021, we only 2 months in, going on 3, and it's really tested your adulthood. And for me, I looked at the world, I look at what's going on, and I'm just thankful because I'm extremely blessed. And I say it, but I had to really live it. Why am I complaining? Why am I freaking out? Because I am a single woman, semi-single woman.
Come on,
I do not have to say that. Listen,
ma'am.
It's a whole nother show. But I'm
like, a sex positive show.
I don't have children, so I didn't have to worry about my child homeschooling. I didn't have to worry about fussing at teachers who are trying to do their best. I didn't have to worry about feeding my child, keeping my child warm. My mom has passed away. I had to worry about her being here. My dad's in California. He wanted to come beforehand. COVID kept him away. I'm glad because he's safe for taking care of himself. I go to work every day. I don't want to get him sick. And also with the whole winter snap, I would have felt like, how am I going to feed him hot food? He's 70 something and keep him warm because he's older. I'm under the cover, he under the covers. What can we do? You know what I mean? So it was me by myself. So I'm like, why am I complaining? I have money in my account. I have a stash put away. I have my books. I have my phone. I can charge it if I need to. I'm not dying. I'm under 18 covers and comforters. I have my flashlights because the thing about it is it's a state you have to put yourself in to realize I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I freaking out?
Yeah.
It wasn't like continuous snowing the whole entire time. So I can't say, Lord, my door is snowed over. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I had plenty of food. If I had charcoal to light my pit to cook if I had to do anything. I had plenty of water. I said, okay, I'll drink about 4 bottles of water a day. I had enough water to drink. I'm staying hydrated. I'm not going to be, I had plenty of medication. Nothing like that, real medication. And I'm like, I'm okay,
Hey,
but
man.
I'm just messing with you. But what I'm saying is I told myself, I was able to call my family, people who care about me, checked on me nonstop. I was okay. And if you stay in that mindset, I didn't freak out at night because it got quiet. All you hear generators going. I'm okay. Because I had to only worry about me. You know, I didn't have to worry about anyone. So how dare I complain? During COVID, I was by myself. How dare I complain? Because that was true isolation.
Yeah, it was.
You know, and even with COVID, then you have this happening in Texas and people are afraid to, because at least you have a unit, Janae, of family that you know how they roll.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's different.
Yeah,
You know, my person had COVID before we had the shutdown of Ice Storm. So he's stuck in his place and has COVID. So can he come? Yeah, all right. He's fine. What I'm saying is though, it's like, what I'm saying is that you can't say we're gonna bundle together because share our resources because he's sick. So he losing power, I'm losing power, all this is happening, my sister losing power. But I'm like, I'm okay, my dad. So for me, preparedness for me was I stay prepared. I make sure I have certain things in my house because forget about weather. When life happens and money funny, I make sure I have food in my house. When I shop, I buy essential stuff all the time. I make sure I have some meat in my freezer I can put on the pit. Erline ain't going hungry, okay? I'm going to make sure I have water, if anything, okay? All the extras, I don't need extra. I need rice. I need potatoes. I need some dry cereal. I need whatever. I got water. I have my essentials because life happens. I can eat the same meal every day. We're spoiled. I can eat the same meal every day. I can wash myself. I can do what I have to do. I'm good. So for me, preparedness begins with realizing I don't need as much as I think I do.
That was really good.
I don't need all that. Those wants are not my needs.
Yeah.
That's not it. And when you have that mindset and also realizing it's okay to be by yourself.
That too.
So if you understand, I'm okay. So people need to get some skills, life skills when it comes to certain things. And I'm gonna stop talking.
It's fine.
Yeah, what she's saying is true. I mean, my only thing was, and this is just because, and when I was talking about medicine, guys, I'll explain. Because I have an anxiety disorder, I am I'm on real meds with a prescription.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
And some without a prescription. But anyways, but so my thing was I had to understand that I'm fine, like Erline said, and I had to come to a realization that even though some of my loved ones did not have power, there was nothing that I could physically do to save them. And so that is something that I had to reconcile within myself because I am a savior. You know, that's where I see myself. If you need it, I got it. I'm gonna come and get you, you know, but I knew I had to tell myself and my controlling type A personality, girl, you can't go out there on the streets because it's like an inch of ice and you're not doing it. And these folks in Houston don't know how to drive on ice, so you're not doing it. You know, and your friends cannot leave because they are from a southern state and they don't know how to drive on ice. So the only thing that you can do is continue to check in on them, making sure they're okay. And if they say they're okay, you have to believe and tell yourself they are okay. You cannot freak out about it. You know, there's no way that I could freak out about caring for everybody because there was nothing I could do. So in that sense, that's how I had to take care of myself mentally, was saying, like Erline said, you're fine and everybody else around you is going to be okay. The only thing you can do is pray about it and check in. And that's it. There's nothing else. And you're going to have to be okay with that level of, you know, being there for people. You have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
So that's where my whole, you know, that whole mental health thing. But the crazy thing was still dealing with all of it. And then most school districts got that Monday and Tuesday off. Like they didn't go back to school until like Thursday or Friday that week. My school district decided to go back that Monday. People still did not, some of my kids still did not have water. Some of the teachers still did not have water. Some of the teachers still did not have power. They were still dealing with things inside, you know, busted pipes inside of their houses. And they wanted them to take days, like use their leave days to take care of this. And I was like, how selfish are you? So I show up on Monday with an attitude because I smell kids. Because it's not on Monday, it wasn't cold no more. On Sunday, it wasn't cold anymore. And Sunday, it was.
You said you smelled the kids?
It probably wasn't just the kids. It was probably the teachers too. So the basic, like, I think the respect of basic human necessity and just, okay, you know, just instead of trying to go on as business as usual, I think that's what kind of the next week, that's what pissed me off and made my anxiety even worse, because I know there are people in my school who lost power, lost food, don't have water, you know, and you have them coming to school and coming to this place of business because they think that they have to be there, because you just couldn't say, hey, let's give them Monday off.
Yeah. I think that's just part of this very much so like continuous activity culture that we live in, where we just do not want to take the time and just say, maybe we don't need to be out here in these streets. Maybe we just need to sit down somewhere. And I get it, because it's like a hard, like, you know, I don't know if you guys have folks in your life who are in college right now. I would hate to be in college right now, knowing that I want to be out here shaking my yams and I shouldn't because it's COVID time. You know what I mean? I want to shake my yams.
People think Texas is wide open, honey. People acting like, you know.
That is true.
Nothing's happening out here in these streets.
Our rolling governor talking about lifting the mask mandate for the state. You see where we at? Y'all, please don't leave Texas. I love Texas, but y'all, somebody got to come save us. We are not okay.
I will say though, during the whole, you know, Game of Thrones week, and people started having, I think we were just mentally, I think overall the exhaustion from COVID to this for us, I didn't see the resistance anymore really as much with the mask. People just like, I gotta buy pipes and sheetrock. I can't. You know what I mean? I have no water. I can't. I'm over here taking whole baths. I can't. You know what I mean? Like the exhaustion, it was just like a mutual, I cannot. I'm not fighting you because that's petty. I'm just trying. And I saw so many people then work together. Like they hear you on an aisle. Like I'm in the hardware store trying to buy supplies to try to get my pipes temporarily fixed because they can't find anything. And they're like, what you need? I hear you. And it's like everyone's just helping each other because we all need the same thing. And what's the point of being ugly? You know, they're like, try to not too close, but still we're all in the same area, mask on. What you looking for? I think I saw it right here. Or you need this, you need that. I got an extra this or that. I didn't see any of that type of, and we had long lines, Rashida. People were in lines at these hardware stores for 30, 40 minutes, an hour, just trying to check out or just trying to get to the aisle for plumbing to get things. And no one was like pushing. It's like, we're just waiting because we're beat down.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's like one after another. Then you have people telling you, why are you complaining? Or this and that. It's like, you don't have the energy.
Or
you don't
also,
have
you have people, you know, like I said, people saying, well, y'all should have been ready. How are we going to be ready?
I mean, maybe we could. I wish we were like Ted Cruz and go to Cancun. If I could have been like him and gone to Cancun, I wouldn't have these issues.
What do you think about human Wolverine Ted Cruz going to Mexico? What is your opinion about that?
He's another bastard.
She did not say human Wolverine.
I just want to know what y'all think of. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. He looks like he dresses up.
All I
like
know
a serial
is
killer for Halloween.
Ted and his wife don't have real friends. Okay, right. Because their friends sold them out.
To be like,
How did they even find out that's where he went?
She had a mass text message going, "Hey guys, going to Cancun, got a hotel, $305 a night. We can all bunk together. Great security. Who wants to come?" Totes.
Yeah. She sent out the text message.
Told them
how much it was a night. Said, it's just so cold here. It's just
it's so cold here.
It's just so cold in the house. So we figured we go to Cancun.
You want to come?
Your friends like sitting and was like, "Well, we have power. Y'all could come over here."
And they were like, "Oh no,
yeah, we're going to Cancun."
No, we're going to Cancun.
Like they literally are offering up other like, we have power. Come to our house.
Yeah,
like
we have power. Just come here.
You can't save everybody.
Instead, you push it off on your kids. Like
he blamed his kids.
How do you say, well, the kids said they had a week off for school. Ted, why do they have a week off for school? Ted.
He don't know.
Ted, why do they have a week off from school? Why can't anybody go to school, Ted?
It's okay. This is why I'm just not.
Escort them there and come back. You lying. Because that carry-on suitcase was full. I bet you of them swim trunks and shorts.
All I know is they had the police escort them for safety to the airport. Yeah. And when they got there, folks taking pictures of Ted Cruz like, "Oh, what you doing here?
What's going?
Aren't your people freezing?"
He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about, toodaloo."
Yeah, basically.
I just was very curious because
I was coming back. Why are you lying? Whoever believes
don't lie, you gotta lie, Craig. Here's the thing though, and people have, I think, as much as you want to be yourself and not be restricted, when you're in a position of power and leadership, you have to roll differently.
True.
Especially when not like you just have a job, but you're actually a leader. You're voted into office to lead a people and be a speaker for your people.
And people
have to roll differently.
Those people's taxes pay like your salary. Like,
Yes, they do.
It's not like you city council where you don't get paid. It ain't like you city council. So you have to roll differently. And the sad thing is, I'm not saying, your wife clearly doesn't know any better and you got to check her. Like, you can't do this. I'm not sure. I mean, check your wife, man. Check your household. She got you in trouble.
She did. Can you imagine what that conversation was like?
I'm not one to, I'm just saying clearly, Ted, check your household, man.
Check your
wife.
Said something. I had to give.
It's okay.
Check
your life. No, I mean, check your life for real, because I don't know, sir. The hate you give. So as
they don't have real friends. Their friends turn them in. Let me tell you something.
Who wants to be real friends with Ted Cruz?
Apparently you know what? They don't. You're right. It was just because of influence, but
clearly they don't like what he was doing. Because if their friends were like, "Good, go," they wouldn't have. They clearly was like this. That's not right.
Yeah.
So we're just,
even though I can afford it, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
And you're using the city's like resources to escort you through the airport. Like, why do you need safety, Ted?
And let's insult to injury. They had some convention the other day. The Republicans did with some
conservatives, the CPAC.
Yeah, CPAC.
And he made a joke about the whole Cancun thing. He made a joke as if it was funny.
And that goes to show you where all their thoughts are. Not about the people who died during this, because we had hundreds of people die from carbon monoxide poisoning. We had tons of people's houses burning down. We had tons of people who just froze to death. Yet you want to make a joke. And these are the people who you chose to lead and speak for. Yet you make a joke about going to Cancun while people are dying.
You had fires and no water because the water was frozen.
Yeah.
So then you had, in my town, there was a fire in an apartment building. They had no water, so they had to call Public Works to come tear down part of the building so the fire would not spread.
Wow.
So you have people out here working to get water restored the whole entire week. Our blue collar, hardworking men and women out here staying in the warehouse to work in 20-degree weather, because there's no, we know how a warehouse has no insulation.
Right.
Out here to take care of people. Still have to do policing, fire. Those jobs didn't stop.
Yet you're
getting calls, people dying because of carbon monoxide, people freezing. 911 went offline out here. They couldn't even get, the 911 number went offline because it was so much. It got rerouted. You going to Cancun?
But you want to go to
Cancun.
Every time I hear the voice in my head, y'all know Super, the girl from New Orleans who had, you know how she went off on her baby daddy?
Oh.
That's it. That's where I'm at.
I love her.
Ted, you want to go to Cancun, Ted? You don't want to help your people, Ted?
Ted doesn't give a two shits about he doesn't care. We know this. This isn't new to us.
Janae looks frustrated.
I am frustrated.
It's okay.
The reason why I'm frustrated is because there's people in the state who still support them and who will continue to vote for them all out of ignorance, not because of, not because, oh, I like what they do for blah, 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 or I love what they're doing for the people. It's not because of that. They are going to vote for them because they are Republicans and, let's be honest, racist and stupid and want to keep Texas red.
Yeah.
For what purpose? What is
because nobody else will be able to get anywhere. I mean, that is the amazing part about this discussion. We really start talking about this from the class perspective, how people are willing to vote against their own self-interest just so that other people can't get ahead. It's the dumbest shit. It literally is illogical.
It's so stupid. So that's why I look frustrated. It's
okay. It is all right. So as we have come to the end of our program, I want to say first, thank you both for agreeing to do the show. I wanted us to get together. I didn't want it to have to be after, y'all ain't having no power for a week. But here we are. The environment still brings us all together. But before we go, are there any last shout outs that you want to give? And also, how can people get in touch with you and follow you? Hit it again so that we can make sure that folks can get to know you both. Who wants to go first? Hit it, Janae.
Shout out to everybody who has asked me to be a guest on their show. I do appreciate you guys. And I'm on these latest shows, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you for loving me and accepting me and thinking that I have something to say. I appreciate that. But regardless, no, I am very appreciative to every time I've been a guest on anyone's show. And thank you so much, Rashida, for having me on.
You're welcome.
Guys, you can find me. Just go to confessionsfromaredcouch.com and you can find everything, including my book that I don't talk about, that I need to talk about a lot more.
You need to talk about it a lot more. You need to talk about it a lot. I took my clap back.
Including my book, the second edition of The Journey Back to Loving Yourself is now on Kindle. It is available. It is the second edition. It is a guide to self-care, self-love, and self-awareness. Please check it out. It is it's just an amazing book. I love this edition. I love it. I personally love it. Honestly, I'm actually reading it again for myself right now because that's what I made it for, to always be a reference to come back to. It is on Kindle. The hard copy will come out soon. I'll let y'all know when that comes out, but just let me push this now.
Yes.
There it is. I did it, Erline. See, I did it.
So stressful.
Oh, shoot. And then I'm gonna let Erline talk about what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're stressing me out, Janae. Anyway, you can find me. I want to say thank you to everyone who's actually been on my show and coming on my little platform and speaking and sharing who you are. And thank you for allowing me to be on your show, Rashida. I really appreciate you, because you need to get on my show pretty soon. We need to work on that. I am everywhere. You can find all of my links at my website, shallproceedpod.com. You can follow me on YouTube. I put the videos up of my shows, Facebook, Instagram. I do a little bit of Twitter. I'm still trying to figure that out as well, and TikTok. But also right now, Janae and I are working on a women's conference for 2021. And the show has launched. The invite has launched. It'll be March 27th, 2021. It'll be a brunch type of women's conference dealing with physical wellness and mental wellness. We're going to have 5 to 6 speakers discussing business, mental wellness, physical wellness, health, all that. We'll talk about ourselves and our journey. And that will be March 27th, virtually. You can go to Eventbrite for that link. You can go to either Janae's Facebook page or my Facebook page, Instagram, and get that link. And it'll be from 11 a.m. Central Standard Time to 2:30, 3 o'clock p.m. Central Time on a Saturday. And it's our first time doing a conference. We've been talking about it for the longest. And Janae helped me. We were talking about it for like 2 years now. And she said, when are we going to do it? I said, let's do it. And we got everything together. It's the Get in Focus Conference 2021, focusing on your wellness journey for women. And we will have another one later on in the year for men, but this is for women. And it's all about your physical and mental wellness. So we already have our speakers lined up. We'll have breakout sessions to talk to our speakers one-on-one. We're excited, and
it sounds
free.
Amazing.
And it's free.
How much is it again?
It's free $99.
It's free $99, and that's
free.
On Mary Had Little Lamb.
It's free. So yes. So we'll make sure you have that link to put in the description.
Yes.
You can go right now to my Facebook page and see the event. And go ahead and look at it. Go to Eventbrite, Get in Focus. And I'm excited.
I love it. I'm so excited about everything I'm hearing. This makes me so happy. Look at my podcast sisters out here in the streets.
Yeah, out here in these COVID streets.
In these COVID streets, these pandemic streets.
The Panic at a Disco.
Panic at the Disco. That's I think that's the most appropriate name for this. Panic at the Disco. All right. And also, for everyone's knowledge, I have started a Patreon after much contemplation. I don't fully have all the tiers and such set up. I'm really thinking like maybe people who give me some money, you tell me what kind of stuff you want me to like talk about on the show, and I'll do it. Maybe that's how we started. I don't know. And I also need a cool, you think that's a good idea?
Yeah.
And then I need to find a cool name to call my listeners, because right now it's just people. I need like a fun name, like a gang or something. So I'm gonna do that too. So I too am doing the thing. But thank you guys. Thank you. But thank you both so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. And we will see you all at the crossroads.